Right, ladies and gentlemen, this is John from the Mercenary Ninja Painter channel, and we're here with a battle report again today. We got my good friend from Wales, Dean. Say hello, Dean.
Hello.
And we got Tomb Kings against Wood Elves. It's going to be a pitch battle. I'll quickly run through the armies. So for the Tomb Kings, we've got 10 bowmen, another 10 bowmen, Bone Giant, 5 carrion, the Hierophant or the Leech Priest that's holding the army together behind there. 1 Scorpion there. 6 chariots. 1 is my Tomb King in the front. And then we have 19 skeletons with a Tomb Prince and another Leech Priest in there. And we also have the tails is 1 Scorpion buried. The heads is the other, the Tomb Swarm. And then for Dino's army, we've got the Highborn on a horse, 5 Wild Riders. They are just in the woods, but they are behind there. They're just in there. The 1 unit of Dryads, 1 unit of Bows, Tree Man, a Noble, another unit of Dryads, another unit of Bows, Branch Wraith in between, last unit of Bows, another unit of Dryads, and 3 Warhawks there. What spells you get, Dino? You got 1 Tree Singing, 1 Ariel's Blessing,
And Twilight Ghost.
and the one that causes fear.
Twilight Ghost.
Twilight House.
Twilight Ghost, yeah.
Nicely done. Right, we've done the roll off. I won it, and I'm picking first turn. So I'll get back to you after Tomb King's turn 1. Right, Tomb King's turn 1. Everything pretty much shuffled forward, as they do with the Tomb Kings. The carrion flew just in front of the Scorpions. Magic phase. Dean let me move the skeletons with the Prince, so they moved up again. The King moved the carrion, which have flown behind the Glade Guard. And then he stopped these gents shooting, but let these ones shoot, which killed a Warhawk. And then in the shooting phase, they done 1 more wound to a Warhawk and killed a Glade Guard. These chaps here. So not a bad first turn for the Tomb Kings on the Wood Elf turn 1. Wood Elf turn 1. Dino tried to charge with his Wild Riders and his Highborn, but they was a little bit out on the chariots. Everything else, the archers moved up. The Dryads all charged the carrion with the Branch Wraith. These Dryads have come back here to allow all the archers to shoot, and the Hawk Riders have hid around the corner there. Tree Man's come up. In the shooting magic phase, you moved the wood twice, Dino, and you did get an Ariel's Blessing off on the Tree Man. So he's got a regen save now. And then the shooting phase, Strangle Root was a misfire. And then all the archers let loose at the chariots. And the Noble with the, what's that bow called?
Hail Arrow.
Hail Arrow, Hail of Doom Arrow. But I did have the Mirage banner on them, so everything was all re-rolls to hit. So he done 7 wounds in the end. I was fairly pleased with that because I thought they were going to get completely shelled out. And in the combats, the Dryads wiped the carrion. Well, they wiped 2.5 and then the rest crumbled. But fairly decent turn for the Wood Elves. On to Tomb King's turn 2. Right, Tomb King's turn 2 was a bit fast and furious. We done no charges, but we moved ourselves into lots of favourable positions. And then in the magic phase, we managed to get the charge off with the chariots onto the Wild Riders. Managed to get the charge off with the skeletons onto the Tomb King. But we didn't manage to get the Scorpion in. He scrolled both of those, sadly. In the shooting phase, these archers killed 1 more Glade Guard. These archers killed another Glade Guard. And then the combats, I didn't wound the Tree Man. He done 1 wound to the Prince, but he held on his stubborn. And the chariots wiped out the Wild Riders and overran into the Glade Guard. So that's Tomb King's turn 2. On to Wood Elves turn 2. Turn 2 for the Wood Elves. No charges. Dean done a lot of shuffling round with his dryads, moved his archers back a little bit. The altars come up here. The lords come round there. Dryads in the woods. And the Warhawk Riders have come up on the flank. In the magic phase, tree singing went off, moved the woods a little bit. Everything else, no, he managed to get his Glade Guard, who are now gone, to cause fear. And that was it. The rest of it was stopped. Shooting phase, killed a Scorpion. And that was it, Dino, wasn't it? Killed a Skelly over here. And then in the combat phase, done 2 wounds to my Prince. But obviously held on through stubborn. Lost combat, but held on. In the chariots, they wiped out all the Glade Guard. And the King done 2 wounds with the Spear of Antarak. So he has got another chariot back. And that was Wood Elves turn 2. On to Tomb Kings turn 3. Turn 4 to the Tomb Kings. The Scorpion come up and hit some Glade Guard in the flank. The Giant went in against the Tree Man. And everything else, these reformed that away. These just wheeled round. And the chariots wheeled round. Then in the magic phase, you managed to stop pretty much everything, Dino, didn't you? What he needed stopping.
Yes.
Except right at the last, he had a 7 to beat to stop these charging and rolled a 6. Sadly for Dean. So they got in. In the combats, the Giant did do a wound against the Tree Man. He killed the Prince. He passed his test for killing the Prince, but then failed his leadership test and has ran. Obviously, my Leech Priest was here, so I test to restrain with the skeletons to keep him hid from the altered. The Scorpion butchered the Glade Guard and he's overran into the Branch Wraith, run them down. The Chariots butchered the other Glade Guard and they just clipped the Dryads, and that's how it's ended up there. So it's on to Wood Elves turn 4.
Right.
Turn 4 for the Wood Elves. The Altars moved up here. The Warhawks tried charging the Leech Priest, but were out. And then everything went in on the chariots, a big dog pile. The Tree Man rallied. And that was that. Shooting, there wasn't any. Magic, a tree singing went off. And she now causes fear. And then in the combats, the Scorpion butchered the Branch Wraith with Killing Blow. And to be fair, the chariots held well. Dean didn't roll very well, and there was a lot of impact hits. And the King with the Spear of Antarak done quite a lot of wounds, so he did bring quite a few back. And they managed to hold. We did lose by 2, so we lost 3 chariots after he had brought one back. But I'm fairly pleased with that. On to Tomb Kings turn 5, and let's see if I can dogpile in on Dean. Tomb Kings turn 5. These guys wheeled round. The Tomb Giant charged in the back of the melee in there. These guys wheeled round so they could see him. These guys reformed so they could see the Warhawk Riders. The Scorpion moved up there and the skeletons shuffled forward. In the magic phase, Dean let the Tomb King make his unit fight. They done nothing. He stopped a movement spell on the Scorpion and then let go the skeletons who reformed. This guy let them shoot. They wiped out another Warhawk Rider, the one with only 1 wound left. And then crucially, the Leech Priest done the movement spell on the skeletons and Dean failed to stop it again. They got in the combat. In the combat phase, you only lost by 3, Dean, didn't you? So it wasn't too bad. Killed 2 chariots, lost by 3, but the Highborn and the other 2 Dryads have fled. Everything else was stuck in combat except the Giant, who chased, but he rolled a measly 3 and went straight into the Tree Man. And that was it. The other shooting never done anything to the altered. So on to Wood Elves turn 5. Wood Elves turn 5. The Warhawk charged the Leech Priest. The altered moved back over here. The Lord rallied and the Dryads rallied. They weren't quite under 75%. No shooting. In the combats, the Warhawk fluffed his lines, didn't do any wounds. The Leech Priest done nothing back, lost combat by 1 due to outnumber, so he took a wound. The Bone Giant did do 2 wounds to the Tree Man, who rolled terribly and done nothing back, but he passed his stubborn, so he's still sticking round. And then this one, the Dryads did dish out a fair bit of damage, and the King done nothing, but they still lost combat by 2, rolled a 10 and fled. The King tested to restrain, which he did, and the skeletons ran them down. So that's how it's all looking. Turn 6. It's looking pretty bleak for the Woodies at the minute. Yeah, let's see if Dean can pull it back in his last turn.
That was shocking.
Turn 6 for the Tomb Kings. The skeletons charge the Warhawk to try and save the Leech Priest. The Tomb King wasn't in arc, so he just spam round to face the Lord. And then the skeletons reformed over there. The Scorpion charged the Altered, who fled. In the magic phase, the King managed to get in with using his magic. The skeletons managed to get in with using the magic. The Leech Priest that was alive here let the skeletons shoot, who done a wound to the Altered. And then in the shooting phase, the skeletons finished off the Altered, who was fleeing. In the combats, the Warhawk did kill the Leech Priest, but the skeletons outnumbered in the rear. He ran away, and that's where they ended up. And then the Tomb King done 2 wounds to the Lord. The Lord done 2 back, and with the magic sword of Dean's, we had to roll off on our leadership. I won the roll off, which finished his own Lord off. The Tree Man and the Tomb Giant. The Tree Man done nothing. The Tomb Giant done a wound, but he held for stubborn. Wood Elves turn 6. There's not a lot for Dean to do, but we'll do the last turn and a quick summary after. Right, quick summary of the battle. Very short turn 6 for the Wood Elves. The Warhawk did rally and ended up there. No magic, they weren't worth nothing casting. That was how it all ended up. In the Tree Man battle, he did wound the Tomb Giant. The Tomb Giant did nothing back, but he's a construct, so he crumbles 1 less. So that's how that ended up. Quick summary of the battle. I think it ended up a massacre for the Tomb Kings. There wasn't a lot the Wood Elves had left. The Tree Man was under half with the Lord dead and whatnot. Good game, Dino. Thank you for that.
Yeah, thanks, mate.
And it's the first one on the channel. So any more guests, feel free to message me or Scott, and we can get a game organised. But that's John from the Mercenary Miniature Painter finishing the battle report. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and do all that stuff. And I will see you again. Cheers.